So I've figured it out. Some of the lore that will happen in the Worldsoul Saga. If you don't want any spoilers, stop watching now. I've gone back again to see what Blizzard has in store for us in the future. I'm going to read a few sections of the audio drama Blizzard released during the Legion expansion, 1,000 Years of War, Part 3, Shadow and Light. Stick around until the end because there is a fair bit of lore in this chapter, and I'll break down a couple of the hard truths about Alleria and her future, including what she has been shown as her destiny. In this section of the story, Alleria is with Locus Walker, whom we've just been reunited with in Dragonflight 10.2.7, learning to listen to and understand the void. Listen closely. You already understand one truth, Alleria. The light is blind. It cannot see the whole of destiny because it alone is not responsible for it. Your path was shrouded by shadow, and thus it was hidden from the light. The strength of his words gave her an anchor to cling to as the torrents of darkness tossed her about. Now understand another truth. The shadow is just as blind. It saw your fate intertwining with its own, and it rejoiced. But it too sees only a fragment of destiny. But that fragment is unlike anything you've known before. Alleria began to see visions. Terrible, terrible visions. She saw the light moving through the cosmos like a ravenous predator. She saw it touch the minds of Azeroth's mortals, a touch that corrupted them forever. She saw generations live and die in invisible chains, bound to a force that granted them fleeting moments of peace in exchange for absolute obedience. She saw war. She saw the forces of light striking back against the void. She saw darkened worlds burning in holy fire. She saw millions of creatures encased in luminous crystals the size of mountains, sustained by the light and unable to die. Warriors of the light were monsters, corrupting and consuming everything they touched. On and on it went, until she could not even comprehend it at all. Lies, she whispered. These are all lies. Sear that into your heart, the Locus Walker said. Know that and never forget it. I do not... What? The Locus Walker kept her firmly afloat. You have known the shadow as nothing but horrors. The shadow sees the light in the same way. Neither viewpoint is true, but neither is wrong. The roar of the void nearly drowned him out. The masters of the void were clawing at her mind. She barely fought them off. The light seeks one path and shuns all others as lies. The shadow seeks every possible path and sees them all as truth. More visions, possible futures. She saw Zera, the Mother of Light, declaring her a heretic and calling for her death. She saw her blood on Turalian's sword. She saw Arator calling an army of paladins to hunt her down, only to fall with her arrows in his throat. She saw herself kneeling before the one who slumbers beneath Azeroth's waves. She saw herself killing it and taking its place, leading a throng of horrors to consume every nation. As she swam in the shadows, all these visions seemed true, at first. Slowly she began to see the difference between Shadow's memories, Shadow's plans and the Shadow's desires, and from that, destiny. She saw what the light could not. She saw what even the shadow could not, because yes, it was just as blind. She saw terrible choices. She saw nobles betray. She saw victory in a way she could scarcely comprehend. And among all of that, she saw countless events that would never happen. The lies of the void were strong, intoxicating, but they quickly collapsed. Perhaps one day she would fall to madness. Perhaps one day she would betray her allies. She was capable of it, but she would never, not in any possibility, not in any circumstance, harm her son. She would never lift a finger against Arator. Even if he killed her for what she had become, she would accept it gladly. The weight of that truth kept her afloat, and she could feel the shadow's confusion. It did not understand the bonds between mortals. It did not understand that there were some things that could not be corrupted. Another truth emerged. This was happening too soon. She was swimming in the shadow before her destiny demanded it. You are ready, Alleria. Every ounce of power out there will be at your command. Dive deeply into it. Your mind will yet be your own. She was indeed ready. It was not yet time. She had witnessed herself jumping from a cliff, peacefully surrendering to the long fall. When the time came, there would be no choice and no alternative. Now, she could still escape, and her destiny demanded that she must. Alleria tried to make sense of it all. She searched the void's knowledge for answers. When none came, she instinctively reached out for the light. The two forces collided in a blinding jolt of pain, but she glimpsed a truth. Turalian, screaming silently as his soul was ripped from his body. That was neither the past nor the future. It was happening now. She knew it. Let me out, let me out. We are not done, Alleria. No matter how terrifying it seems, you must. Alleria lashed out. All of the dark power filling her slammed into the Locus Walker. With a roar of surprise, he let go of her mind. Gasping, she flung the shadow away. She was free again, floating in the darkness. The Locus Walker loomed in front of her furious. Coward. I should have expected no less from a mortal. He was gathering power, intending to strike back at her. Alleria ignored him. She pulled out the soul stone she had taken from the Inquisitor on Niskara. The black crystal was now glowing green. I knew it. Light helped me. I knew it was real. The Locust Walker paused. What did you see? Turalyon is about to die. The ethereal snatched up the stone and studied it carefully. His power delved into it, and he laughed. You have made a very determined enemy, Windrunner. She wasn't sure if he was talking about the assassin or himself. The Void will use your love against you. You understand that, yes? Turalyon may die one day, but he cannot die this day, or I am lost. The ethereal shimmered. Remember what I said about truth and lies. That truth did not come from the Void. That truth was changing the Void. He stared into the soul stone again. Interesting. You may have a unique destiny, Alleria Windrunner. Go to him. I've taught you how. It is quite an interesting story if you like audiobooks or want to know a little more about the lore behind Alleria and Turalyon. Seeing the possible futures laid out by the Void is interesting and key here, as the Void sees every possible path. They are all true, but the truth changes. The one slumbering beneath was most likely N'Zoth, but she did not take his place, so this was clearly a vision, not a truth. Alleria can bring both the Void and light together to glimpse the truth, where each force is blind, as witnessed when she sees Turalyon in danger. On falling to madness, she has held on to her sanity because of her determination to protect her family. This is what Xala'Tath and Locus Walker both reference again in the cutscene in Dragonflight 10.2.7, when Locus Walker once again sees Alleria and Xala'Tath. The Void does not understand her, but maybe needs her. The determined enemy. Maybe she was wrong, and there was a third option beyond Turalyon's assassin or Locus Walker. Maybe her power to see the truth by making the light and void collide is what brought her to the attention of Xala'Tath and maybe even a Void Lord. After all, it was the crash of light and void that created the realms of the great dark beyond. But what does that mean of her actual power? What is she capable of? Also, this means that she has been on their radar and a part of their plan for quite some time. It looks like the war within is reaching deeper into the lore of Legion than we thought. Hopefully there will be no retcons on this in the future. If you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Also, check out my video on the Void Lord Dementius to understand more of what awaits us in the Worldsoul Saga. Catch you next time.
Lest it consume. So it is Xala'Tath who has claimed the Dark Heart. I understand now why she calls herself the Harbinger.
I've had enough riddles for one day.
The radiant visions you spoke of are the very same my people had, before our world was consumed by the Void Lord Dementius.
What? You don't think... Could Xala'Tath be seeking that same fate for Azeroth?
I fear that is precisely what she intends. You must find a way to stop her.
Me? Look, she knew exactly how to hurt me. I don't think I'm the one to...
Yes, she knew your greatest fear is endangering your family. But you must let go of that fear. Embrace who you truly are.
I know who I am.
Do you? You are unbalanced. You must master your unique nature, Alleria. If you cannot, then Azeroth is already doomed.